I took it home. I didn't even think about it. Okay. It is 6:30, and we'll call to order the Moore City Council meeting for February 2nd, 2026. Would you call the roll, please?
Kathy Griffith.
Here.
Sid Porter.
Here.
Melissa Hunt.
Here.
Louis Williams.
Here.
Adam Webb.
Here.
Rob Clark.
Here.
Mark Ham.
Here. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody sounded good, a full room like that. And item C is a proclamation. Is it in here?
Is that in your mailbox?
Oh, I didn't. Here's one. Okay, we have a proclamation. It says, whereas the City of Moore values a strong, compassionate, and connected community and recognizes that kindness is a powerful way for people to care for one another and strengthen the social fabric of our city, and whereas each year, Random Acts of Kindness Week is recognized during the month of February as an annual tradition that encourages individuals to perform acts of kindness, brightening the lives of others through small gestures and positively influence those around them. And whereas First United is seeking to impact the community by completing 1 million acts of kindness through the help and generosity of their employees, partnering organizations, local businesses, nonprofits, community leaders, churches, and other members of the community. And whereas United Acts of Kindness Day will inspire our community to come together to spread joy, hope, and love to friends, family, co-workers, and neighbors, shining a light in the world and sparking kindness that encourages others and reminds us that even the smallest act of kindness can have a meaningful and lasting impact on someone in the need of support. Whereas the City of Moore encourages residents, businesses, and organizations to come together and to share acts of kindness, uplift one another, and promote a culture of care and respect within our community. Now, therefore, I, Mark Ham, Mayor of the City of Moore, do hereby proudly proclaim February 13th, 2026 as United Acts of Kindness Day, and encourage all citizens to join me and the City Council in supporting the efforts to pass on kindness to others in the City of Moore. Signed and approved this second day of February 2026. Was there anybody here to receive the proclamation? Yes, if you'd like to come up and say a few words. And I will tell you, I left the proclamation upstairs, so we will get that to you. But I'm sorry I don't have it to present to you.
That's all right. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor Ham. And we appreciate the City Council for allowing us to present this proclamation and encourage everybody to do the little acts of kindness as opening a door or even deep breathing of letting someone in front of you in your car to make these acts of kindness. And First United also has a link on their website for that to be recorded, but our hope is that that day we have 1 million acts of recorded kindness. So thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you, and it's it's good to recognize just the little things that we can do. I can tell you, I work at Oklahoma City Community College, and a couple weeks ago, our president, Dr. Matra Jones, was in the hallway and saw a student who was kind of standing there by themselves, and she went over there and just shook the person's hand and said hello and introduced herself and, how can I help you? And the student was just waiting for somebody, but it was just a random act of kindness, saying hello, shaking a hand, and giving a smile. So those little things go a long ways for sure.
They do indeed. We
So
appreciate
thanks for the
it.
reminder.
All right, thank you.
Item 2 is our consent docket.
Make a motion that we approve the consent docket, items A through E.
Second.
We have had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote, please?
Kathy Griffith.
Yes.
Sid Porter.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Rob Clark.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, consent docket approved. We will go to item 3. Consider adoption of ordinance number 107526 of the City of Moore, Oklahoma, amending the City of Moore, Oklahoma sales tax ordinance, ordinance number 60, as amended by ordinance number, bear with me as I read through this, ordinance number 33183, as amended by ordinance number 47088, as amended by ordinance number 55106, as amended by ordinance number 67710, and we're about halfway, as amended by ordinance number 72512, as amended by ordinance number 105524, as amended by ordinance number 82916, as amended by ordinance number 92219, as amended by ordinance number 94920, as amended by ordinance number 105524, to provide the levying of assessing an additional 1% sales tax upon the gross receipts or proceeds derived from all sales taxable under sales tax law of Oklahoma, fixing effective date, providing for the purpose of said additional sales tax, making provisions severable, and containing other provisions related thereto.
Mayor and council, items 3 and 4 are companion items. So we have discussed this proposal over 5 recent council meetings, and just want to recap some of the things we've discussed. We feel that there's a property tax fatigue in the city of Moore, and people are tired of the GO bonds. We still have capital projects and commitments to public safety that we need to do. So if not GO bonds, how best to do this? So the proposal tonight is a permanent 1-cent tax to be split 90% for capital improvements, 10% for public safety, for equipment and operations. During our discussions, we've discussed the projects that are on tap that have construction funding. We've discussed other projects that just have design funding only, and we will need a funding source to be able to construct them. And we've discussed projects with no funding, such as drainage projects on Northeast 20th and Lincoln, Ramblin' Oaks, and then a public safety facility that we feel like the city needs in the future that's in the design process. This sales tax, unlike the GO bonds, will provide more flexibility. The GO bond projects that are approved, that's all you can work on. You can't shift to another project. The sales tax, being a permanent source of revenue, will allow us flexibility to insert other projects that maybe weren't planned on at the beginning of our budget year or at some other time during the year. So for instance, I've mentioned the streets in Golden Acres that failed due to the bad weather. A sales tax would give us a funding source to be able to move quickly on those, or these drainage projects that I've admitted. Now, this doesn't happen every year, but it does happen, and so this gives us flexibility to be able to react faster with that. We've also discussed that the sales tax and the property tax that we pay, it doesn't all go to the city of Moore. So right now in the city of Moore, if you go out and purchase something, you pay an 8.5% sales tax rate. Well, only 3.875% of that actually goes to the city of Moore. The rest of it goes to the state of Oklahoma or to Cleveland County. And for our property taxes, only 12% of the property taxes that we pay actually go to the city of Moore. The rest of it goes to Moore Schools, Moore Norman Technology, Cleveland County. So if you just wrote a property check or property tax check here at the end of last year for $5,000, only $600 of it goes to the state of or goes to the city of Moore. So we have those issues. We've also talked about if we increase tax, that our research shows it would be a short-term impact only, if that, because when we've passed dedicated sales taxes previously, a 1/2 cent, a 1/4 cent, and an 1/8 of a cent, it had no impact on our general fund. It continued to grow. We've also illustrated how the millage rate will decline over the next 5 years if this is passed. So again, that is the commitment to do this. And in the online survey that we did and other discussions, we know that people don't like their real estate taxes being raised, and they don't like things being added to the water bill. So the sales tax would take care of this. It would take care of the debt payment for the projects going on at the wastewater treatment plant right now. Currently, with the GO bond program, we have an internal cap of 16.5 mils. If passed, I would bring an ordinance to the council proposing that we cap the sales tax for these capital projects at a commitment 80% over the projection of the next 10 years. This leaves a cushion for any economic downturn and provides, more assurances that we'll be able to pay the bills with this. It's not a big spending spree. This, in my opinion, provides additional accountability for that. Projects will still have public input before they come back to the council for final approval. So we will still have our town hall meetings. We will still push stuff out on our website or social media, do videos, other things that we feel like we need to do. That won't change. We will do that before we bring it to the council for final approval. We've had listening sessions over the last 3 days last week. Now, one question that's come up is that even though we've said we want to reduce the property tax, it's not in the proposition. Well, I had that discussion with our attorney, Terry Hawkins, and the reason that's not in there is due to the electioneering statute. Mr. Hawkins is here to answer any questions about that. I believe that we've been thorough in our discussions between the council meetings and the listening sessions, and it's important that people realize that if this were to pass, 30% of this revenue will be paid from people that don't live in Moore. They will be helping to pay for our infrastructure. This gives the voters a chance, or it gives them a choice on how they want to fund the future projects, future capital projects in the city of Moore. That's what this does. I recommend approval. Happy to answer any questions.
So, would not be able to put the language in there to reduce the property taxes. There's no way, the property tax will automatically go down unless the residents were to vote in another increase through property taxes. We can't increase property taxes without a vote, without a GO bond. So yes, we're not putting it in the wording, but we can't, the council here cannot go and pass GO bonds without the
Correct.
citizens' approval. So we are locked into reducing property taxes unless the citizens were to vote it
Right,
in.
we have the ability with past GO bond issues, we still have $54 million in GO bonds we can issue. And so we will issue those in such a way that the millage rate will continue to go down. But as we continue to issue those, eventually we get to zero.
Right.
And we have nothing left.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
And I would just mention, and you mentioned it in your comments, Brooks, the past few years we've had a real issue with flooding over on the east side, northeast, southeast side of our city. And this, if were to pass, would allow us to address that quickly.
Yes.
If it weren't this way, we would have to go to a vote to the voters to approve. But this sales tax will allow us to address problems. I don't want to say immediately, but yet we would have the revenue in the bank, and we could begin the engineering and the design and then the construction, and hopefully our residents would see a quicker response from their city. And that's correct?
That's correct.
And there are limits on this as to how much debt that we would incur from this. It's not like we would get a credit card and go max it out immediately. There are going to be limits that this council is going to place on the city as to how much indebtedness we can have.
That's
Is that
correct. Yes.
And if
Okay.
we vote to put this on the ballot, it will be on the ballot April 7th. Is that
April the
correct?
7th, yes.
How well were the meetings attended, the information meetings?
The evening sessions, 5 people the first night, 3 the second, and 4 the third, I
Okay.
believe.
Okay. The city we've probably done almost all that we can do as far as putting it out there on our webpage, on our social media page. And of course, we're always available for phone calls and emails. Anybody on the council is, if people have had questions or have them.
I think over the last 25 years or so, Moore knows what immediacy from disasters and things that we've had to deal with, anywhere from the tornadoes to the floodings. And I think the flexibility is what I like about this, is the flexibility that we can get on top of those projects that are going to be needed now, instead of always having to go through a process to get to that point.
Okay, are there any other questions from the council? No? So what do we need? Just make a motion to approve this?
Motion to
Ordinance?
second, and if the desire of the council is to approve this and put it on the ballot, motion and second, and a vote to approve.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the ordinance and have it put on the ballot. Would you call the vote?
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item passes. Item 4 is consider adoption of resolution number 12826, authorizing the calling and holding of an election in the city of Moore, Oklahoma, for the purpose of submitting to the registered qualified voters of said city the question of authorizing an additional 1% sales tax and providing the use thereof and containing other provisions relating thereto.
Make a motion to approve the election.
Second.
Would you call the vote, please?
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item passes. Thanks, Brooks and staff. I know there's been a lot of work going into this, so thank you. Consider approval of an agreement with WSB in the amount not to exceed $35,000 for support with developing a highly competitive grant application under the Build Notice of Funding Opportunity, NOFO, for the replacement, planning, and design of Sunny Lane Bridge located at Southeast 34th Street.
Mayor and council, every 2 years, the Oklahoma Department of Transportation provides funds for bridge inspections within the city of Moore. One of the bridges that we've received some inspection reports where we are required to do some repairs on the bridge south of 34th Street on Sunny Lane. We've talked to a couple of contractors just to give us an idea of how much these repairs may cost, and they're somewhere in the neighborhood. They range from maybe $2 to $2.5 million in repairs. At the same time, we've also received notification from the federal government with the new funding source that they've been, grants that they've been coming out with, and they are called the Build Notice of Funding Opportunity for replacement and planning, engineering, design, and construction of infrastructure improvements. And so what we'd like to do is we sent out proposals, requests for proposals. We received 2. And we'd like to go ahead and move forward and apply, prepare the application to apply for this grant. One of the reasons that we thought it would make more sense to replace the bridge at this location was the grant itself has a minimum of $5 million of cost before you are eligible for the grant. And of course, our $2 million would not be eligible for any of it. So it just made more sense. One of the previous inspections from ODOT indicated that over the next 5 or 6 years that we really ought to be replacing that bridge. So what we'd like to do is go ahead and authorize approval of the highest rated firm, WSB, to go ahead and help us with the application. There is some preliminary engineering as part of the application that we need help with, and some cost-benefit ratios and so forth that they'll look at to help with the grant application. We did a similar thing for the Southmore High School Oak Ridge detention pond, where we spent about $35,000 for application for that grant, and we actually received $112,000, or 75% of that, for the design. And then we've also received a little over $1 million for the actual construction of that which was 75%. And so we think it's money well spent, especially, obviously if we can receive the grant, we'd recommend approval of
So
WSB.
this one, the $35,000 is just for the support to get the grant
Just for the
application
support,
filled out?
yes,
And this grant would be a 75% grant also?
for the grant application.
Oh,
The application is we would pay the entire 35,000.
no, but,
Yes,
so do
this
we
one
have
is,
an
this
estimate
one,
of what the bridge,
the the NOFO funds are an 80-20, so we would have to pay 20%
All right,
of
okay.
any. I had a rough estimate with somewhere for a new bridge replacement, we're looking at 4 lanes and sidewalk and a bicycle trail at that location on Sunny Lane, to do the approaches and a little roadway improvement up to the corner perhaps. We're estimating somewhere in the neighborhood of $6 million as a possibility for the total.
And WSB, we've worked with them before. Who is WSB? They combined with somebody, is that correct?
WSB purchased Mishek,
Okay,
and
right.
that's
Okay,
who
so we've
we,
worked with them
that's who
quite a
we
bit.
received the grant under while they were Mishek.
perfect.
We
Make a motion
recommend.
to approve?
Second.
Okay, and I would just want to make sure, a lot of our citizens understand that, this is a grant that we're pursuing, and our city, Jerry, and others have been working hard to look for other opportunities to fund a lot of our infrastructure project, so we're not always having to go to our taxpayers. So this is great, and I hope that we can get it. We've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Louis Williams.
yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Rob Clark.
Yes.
Kathy Griffith.
Yes.
Sid Porter.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item passes. Item 6, consider rezoning application number RZ1055, located in the northwest quarter of Section 15, Township 10 North, Range 3 West, being south of Northwest 12th Street and west of Interstate 35, from C3 General Commercial District to C3 SUP General Commercial District with special use permit for a tattoo studio, and approve ordinance number 5026, application by Wildside Tattoo, care of Kayla Miller. The Planning Commission recommended approval 6-0, and this is in Ward 3.
Mayor and council, this property is located south of Northwest 12th Street and west of I-35. It's located in the New City Shopping Center, and that is zoned C3 General Commercial District. The property is currently used for retail and office businesses. The applicant is proposing to operate a tattoo studio at this location, and because of the nature of the use, the applicant must obtain a special use permit to allow the tattoo studio. Public water and sewer are available to serve the site, and access is provided by both I-35 Service Road and Northwest 8th Street. The use of a special use permit is a tool that's meant to address certain uses in prescribed zoning districts where determined appropriate without changing the zoning designation and providing specific requirements for these uses. The special use permit is issued to the business directly and expires upon change of use, occupancy, or ownership of the property. Because these special uses are only considered to be appropriate in certain locations, additional restrictions may be placed on the occupancy permit. The Envision More 2040 plan calls for this location to be regional center. These land uses are characterized by medium intensity commercial, which include retail, office, and service uses. These centers are intended to include a mix of uses, and this application was reviewed as to its conformance with the plan. With the land use being designated as regional center, retail and medium-intensity commercial uses are encouraged, but only if the characteristics of such uses are compatible with the surrounding area. This site is not proposed to change the underlying zoning, but rather ask for a special use permit to operate a tattoo studio. Therefore, staff believes that this application does meet the intent of the comprehensive plan. The city code was recently updated to move the tattoo and body piercing studios under the purview of a special use permit. If approved, the permit does have the following requirements that I'll just remind you of, although you did approve the ordinance not too long ago. The tattoo studios cannot be located within 1,000 feet from any existing tattoo studio or any property zoned for a bar or nightclub, adult entertainment establishment, pawn shop, blood or plasma donation centers, and a surplus store. The tattoo studios cannot be located within 300 foot of a single-family dwelling. The special use permit is issued to the business owner and expires upon change of ownership of the business, moving of the business to a different location, or the cessation of the business. And finally, the special use permit may be revoked or suspended by the city council for good cause or for any violations of the provisions of this section or any other section of the Moore City Code or any state or federal law. This application does meet all the distance requirements as set forth in the city code, and because the subject site is in a highly urbanized commercial area, staff recommends approval of this application. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, so can you help me, so I'm familiar with that shopping center, this is the big red areas, so are they buying this whole building?
No, they're just occupying one lease space in
Okay.
that
And so
area.
where are they gonna be there? Where are they? applying?
They are fronting Northwest 8th Street. So if you know where Subway is, that little alleyway that connects the shopping center to City Avenue is actually a street, and they will be fronting off of that street. They're just a couple doors down from Subway.
Okay, all right, very good, thank you.
Elizabeth, were there any neighboring business owners who had comments that they wanted to share?
No, there was no one at the meeting to speak on this item.
Thank you.
All the measurements, because around there you have residential, you have a park, you have schools, so all these measurements you mentioned, they're way outside the line of that.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, no more discussion. We had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item passes. Thank you. Item 7 is consider approval of ordinance number 5126, amending Part 12, Article 5, Chapter F, Section 12-552, Street Design Standards of Moore Land Development Code by removing requirements for street names, providing for severability, and providing for repealer.
Mayor and council, items number 7, 8, and 9 on your agenda are companion items. The city has hired, or did hire, a consultant to assist us to become NG 911 compliant. This included developing an ordinance to standardize addressing and street naming procedures. This provides predictability for first responders as well as assisting the city staff and the public with a reliable method of addressing and finding parcels out in the real world. This ordinance creates a new section under the public safety section of the Moore City Code and puts into ordinance form all of our processes and procedures that we've always taken for assigning addresses and street names. So there really won't be any sort of change from the developer's standpoint or the public standpoint when it comes to this new ordinance and how we go about assigning the addresses and street names. Part of this process is to remove all the other parts of the code that speak to addressing and street name assignments. That's why you see items 7 and 8, which are deleting redundancies to ensure that all of the regulations for addressing and street name assignments will be found in one place. It's a longer ordinance. I would be happy to go through anything that you might have questions about, but again, it really just standardizes what we already do as policy and procedure in the city.
Okay, any questions? If not,
Make a motion, we approve.
Second?
would you call the vote?
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item passes. Item 8 is consider approval of ordinance number 1072326, removing Part 14, Chapter 1, Section 14-108, street numbering system from the Moore City Code, placing Section 14108 in reserved for future use, providing for severability and providing for repealer.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Would you call the vote, please?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
Louis Williams,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item passes. Item 9 is consider approval of ordinance number 107426, amending Part 13, Public Safety of the Moore City Code by adding Chapter 7, Addressing System, establishing the addressing authority, define key terms, establishing road naming principles, establishing the process for changing street names, establishing street addressing system for next generation 911, establishing size and location requirements for building and street numbers, establishing enforcement procedures, providing for severability, and providing for repealer.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Would you call the vote?
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item passes. Thanks, Elizabeth. Item 10 is consider approval of a request for proposals document for third-party health plan administrative services. This is Human Resources.
Mayor and Council, in 2002, the city entered into an agreement with CL Freitas to serve as the third-party administrator for our health plan. They handled claims processing, billing, enrollment, and reporting. Freitas was local, responsive, and provided very good customer service. In 2020, Freitas was acquired by Assured Benefits Administrators, or ABA, and we continued the relationship. ABA is based in Dallas and is one of the largest TPAs in the country. However, over the last 4 years, we've experienced some service and efficiency challenges. The purpose of the request for proposal I'm asking you to approve tonight is to determine whether ABA remains the best fit for our city or whether another option may better meet our needs. The primary goals of the RFP are to improve administrative efficiency, cost controls, customer service for plan members, and support for city benefits staff. Our consultants at Gallagher Benefit Services will manage the solicitation and evaluation process and present their findings to the city. Any recommendation will include careful consideration of potential disruption to plan members and cost impacts. Staff does recommend approval of the TPA RFP, and Daniel Summers with Gallagher is here to answer any questions you might have.
Is there any cost for this?
For doing the RFP? No, it's within Gallagher's contract with
Okay.
us already.
And if they find that there's a better option, what would the procedure and timing of that be?
So the proposals are all due by March 2nd, and we're looking at a possible July 1st starting
Okay, so
date.
targeting budget in, okay, very good, thank you. Make a motion, we approve?
Second?
We've had a motion and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item passes. Item 11 is consider authorizing the fire department to solicit a request for qualifications for third-party ambulance services.
Mayor and council, the city has been well-served by our current EMS provider for the past 10 years, and we're satisfied with the service they have provided. At the same time, the fire department believes it's prudent and responsible to periodically conduct a due diligence by issuing a request for qualification. This process will allow us to confirm that the community is receiving the highest level of service possible and to ensure we are aligned with current best practices and community expectations. I'd recommend approval and be happy to answer any questions.
How many ambulance providers are there in the metro? Do you know that off the top of your head?
In the metro, there's Pafford and AMR and IMSA, Wadley's, React. There's multiple.
Okay. Who does Edmund use? Do you know?
AMR.
Okay, that's all the questions I have. Any
Make a
other-
motion to approve?
Second.
Would you call the roll, please? The vote?
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Thank you. Item 12, consider adopting resolution number 12626, authorizing the city of Moore to submit a grant application to the Oklahoma 911 Management Authority for the 911 Center furniture upgrades. This is capital planning and resiliency.
Mayor and council, the city is seeking funding to replace its existing 911 call-taking software with a modern standards-based solutions designed to enhance call processing efficiency, interoperability, and emergency response outcomes. The project will consist of the implementation of a comprehensive 911, wait, am I on the right one? I don't think I am, I'm sorry. No, I'm so sorry. Let me start. Okay, it is, we are seeking funding to replace aging 911 dispatch consoles with modern ADA-compliant workstation systems that support accessibility, employee safety, and uninterrupted emergency operations. The project will include the installation of height-adjustable designed dispatch consoles that accommodate seated and standing positions, wheelchair access, and adaptive equipment. These consoles will provide sufficient knee and toe clearance, accessible reach ranges for controls and monitors, and improved cable management to reduce trip hazards and physical strain. The total estimated cost is roughly $162,000. The grant has a 20% match requirement, making the city's contribution to be estimated to be around $35,000. Mandy Mason, our 911 Emergency Communications Manager, is here if you have any questions.
When's the last time there was an upgrade?
Mayor and council, it was 10 years ago we got our last consoles.
Okay.
So this one is configurable to the new system that we just purchased?
This is actually our consoles that we work at, our desks.
Okay.
That we're requesting a grant application for.
So, but will the new 911 system that we've just purchased, there's consoles and stuff that the operators operate. Will those not sit on these desks? Or
Yes,
these-
sir, they will.
Okay, and these are configurable to accommodate that system?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Make a motion to approve?
Second?
Second, yeah.
We have a motion and a second. You call the vote?
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Rob Clark.
Yes.
Kathy Griffith.
Yes.
Sid Porter.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item passes. And while you're here, we appreciate 911 and all that they do. They're often I think our chief will say, the unseen heroes. We talk to them on the phone, and they're able to take a really chaotic situation and get the information they need, and officers on the way. So we really do appreciate all that you and your team do for our city. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Item 13 is consider adopting resolution number 12726, authorizing the city of Moore to submit a grant application to Oklahoma 911 Management Authority for the 911 Center NG 911 call handling software, capital planning and resiliency.
Mayor and council, we are going to, seeking to submit another application for our 911 center. This will be to replace its existing 911 call-taking software with a modern standards-based solutions designed to enhance call processing efficiency, interoperability, and emergency response outcomes. The project will consist of the implementation of a comprehensive 911 call-taking software platform that supports structured call integration, real-time data sharing, and seamless integration with computer-aided dispatch, also known as CAD, radio mapping, and responder systems. This upgrade will improve call accuracy, reducing call processing times, and enhance situational awareness for both call takers and field responders. The estimated cost is about $675,000, which includes the monthly hosting costs for the next 5 years. Like I said before, the grant has a 20% match requirement, which estimates our contribution to be $135,000. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them, and Mandy's still here.
Any questions?
Make a motion, we approve.
Second?
We've had the motion and second. Would you call the vote, please?
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Rob Clark.
Yes.
Kathy Griffith.
Yes.
Sid Porter.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item passes.
Thank you.
Thank you for the work you guys did in putting together all that.
Item 14 is consider the budget renewal of the annual service agreement with Motorola Solutions for the public safety radio console system in the amount of $55,342.37. This emergency management.
Mayor and council, good evening. This is where the confusion comes in. What they bought was furniture. What this is the radio
Okay.
consoles
Very
that
good.
they
Thank you.
use, both in the 911 center and in the emergency operations center. This is simply our annual maintenance agreement for that.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Would you call the vote, please?
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Galen. At this time, we're going to recess the city council meeting and convene the Moore Public Works Authority meeting. Item 15 is the consent docket.
Make a motion to approve consent docket A through D.
Second?
Would you call the vote, please?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Rob Clark.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Consent docket passes. We're going to recess the Moore Public Works Authority meeting and convene the Moore Risk Management meeting. 16 is the consent docket.
Make a motion to approve the consent docket items A and B?
Second?
Would you call the vote, please?
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Rob Clark.
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item passes. We are now going to recess the Moore Risk Management meeting and reconvene the city council meeting. All members that were present are still present. Item 17 is going to be new business. And just real quick before I address our citizens, our state representative, Jason Blair, is here. He always loves it when I call him out. He says I'm supposed to. And he was on our council for a number of years. And if you have any really hard questions, what's amazing about him is he has all of the answers.
He does. Yep.
Thanks for being here,
Thank
Representative
you
Blair.
Thank you, Jason.
Item A is going to be citizens forum for items not on the agenda. I did have some people sign up. And just remember, when I call your name, come up and you have 5 minutes, but please give us your name and address. And these are items that weren't on the agenda, so unfortunately, the council's not able to respond to your comments, or even if you ask us a question, all we can do is listen. However, if you'll hang around after the council meeting, I'll be happy to come out there, and I think Melissa will too, and visit with you or anybody about your concerns. So I have Shelley Waugh. I hope I'm saying your last name right. Okay, good. And then after Shelley, it will be Lori and then Scott.
As you said, I'm Shelley Waugh, and I've been a member of the wonderful Moore community for 26 years. And I am concerned about our new shelter that we have in Moore. We have a beautiful $8.5 million animal shelter that the Moore community has waited years to get. I was a volunteer for 10 years there and enjoyed my time there. I'm no longer allowed to volunteer anymore because I question protocols not being followed. And after the supervisor found out that I discussed my concerns with the mayor, excuse me, and a councilwoman, I was no longer needed at the shelter. I am not a disgruntled volunteer, as some people have said. I'm just very caring about animals and the Moore community. And I think our shelter, especially this brand-new shelter that we've had built, deserves better. We have some caring staff in the shelter that I care a lot about, but then we have some other staff members that are not following protocols. They are turning away animals that are brought in from the citizens, strays, orphans, injured, accusing them of dumping their dogs or cats at the shelter with no explanation of why they can't bring them there. The citizens of Moore have been complaining, but nothing gets done. They've called the shelter, but the supervisor just tells whoever they complain to, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. They don't take it seriously. We had a lot of volunteers when I started. We've lost a lot that don't want to volunteer anymore because of the, I hate to say this, but lazy and uncaring staff to their own staff, volunteers, and the citizens and more. The previous supervisor allowed staff to adopt dogs and let them live at the shelter for like 2 to 3 years. And that is very unacceptable. A dog should not be living. That's not a home for a dog or cat. It's only a place to stay until they can be adopted into a loving home. The current dog right now has been living at the shelter for 3 years in a glass enclosure. Fang gets let out occasionally. What the staff will tell you is that Fang is a teaching tool. So when they have their ACO training, they can use him as a teaching tool. We've got plenty of dogs that they can bring up into the training sessions to train them with. There's no reason to keep Fang there locked up, living in a shelter, when he can be in a loving home somewhere else, running around like other pets. We also have an exotic room. Why a dog and cat shelter has an exotic room, I don't know why. But we have a ball python and a tarantula living in there for, like I said, about 3 years now, from the old shelter moved to the new shelter. We have a fox and raccoon pelts hanging on the wall. Again, this is a dog and cat shelter. Why we have an exotic room when that can be used for so many different things? Photos are no longer allowed to be taken at the shelter of the dogs and cats. And that is very beneficial for people to post dogs and cats on their Facebook pages so people can see them. They may not come and adopt that certain dog, but it brings them into the shelter and allows them to come in there and see what we have.
30
We're no longer
seconds,
allowed to
please.
post photos. And OKC Shelter,
30 seconds.
oh, sorry, at Norman Shelter, it very much strongly encourage photos. They want that done. I highly recommend, there is a position open for a new supervisor, since the previous supervisor is no longer there, and I highly recommend that they hire from outside the shelter someone new that can take over and reorganize the staff. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, Lori, just your name, address, and you have 5
Oh,
minutes.
I'm sorry. Shelley Waugh, 1717 Southeast 14th Street.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Hi, thank you, Mayor and Council, for having me this evening. My name is Lori Reynolds. My address is 2135 Lonnie Lane. I am a lifetime Moore resident, and I was very proud, as I think many were, when we found out we were getting a new and improved shelter. But it's not become the staple of our community that it should be. My experience was in March of 2025. I will not go into the details about that today because we don't have time for it. But I can always talk to you more about that after. If you're doubting the concerns that we're mentioning today about the shelter, I implore you to look at the simple Facebook post inviting more constituents tonight. When the post went live, just a few hours later, we had 70 comments, and 95% of them were negative. And these are our people and more that have had stories and bad experiences, and that speaks volumes. More taxpayers deserve to know their money is supporting a shelter that saves lives. It's in the dark. The ask is simple. We want a foundation of transparency and professional animal care. It's time for the City of Moore to stop the status quo and implement the humane, common sense reforms that our community expects. For the new shelter superintendent position, we're asking for a committee decision, not a one-man show. To bring in someone, we want to bring in someone with leadership skills, someone who has a heart for animals.
Did you know that the job description only says the word animal twice in the title and when it's dealing with aggressive animals? There's nothing about love for animals. There's nothing about creating an environment that's inviting or healthy for animals. So we're asking for a little bit of transparency and a community decision there. If you would like any more details about my personal experience or to discuss the implementation of the things we're asking with the sheet we left you, Shelley and I will be right over there after. And thank you so much for your time today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. The next person I have to be heard is Scott Floyd.
Okay, so I only found out about this meeting. I'm Scott Floyd. I live at 14605 Broadway Circle. I'm a veterinarian and more at Silverleaf Animal Hospital. And the reason that I'm up here is I've worked with the animal shelter since 2015. We don't have like a set agreement, but they we do their spays and their neuters from our facility. And if they have a dog that's been hit by a car or wounded or has got something bad that needs attention, they bring it to us, they bus it over, we take a look at it, we come up with a treatment plan, okay? We try to work with them. They have medicines that they use from the shelter. We try to work with them, make sure that they use what they've got. We try to keep cost in mind, all the time. I'm just mainly up here because I feel like there's been this push to sort of vilify and say that the shelter is not, that they take euthanasia lightly. And I have worked with Nicole and John and Sam in numerous cases trying to decide what to do. Sometimes you don't know who the owner is. The dog's been hit by a car. They find it on the side of the road. You don't know who owns it. You don't know what decision to make. The dog's got a broken leg, or it's bleeding internally. You're trying to decide, can we save this dog and safely get it through until we can find out who the owner's is? It doesn't have a microchip or not. And I just don't take it lightly that I feel that they're being slandered like this, because I have worked with them on these decisions, and more often than not, they have made decisions that surpassed what I thought and expected from a shelter to make. And so I just want you guys to hear that from me versus me cutting and pasting an email to you that I think would get lost as far as tone goes. I just want you to know that's been my experience for 10 years working with them. I've never had a situation where I felt like that they didn't care about that animal, that they will push me to take x-rays. We work with More Possibilities, which I think you're all familiar with, a wonderful group. And I always tell people, if you want to give to a good charity, More Possibilities is the one to donate to. So that's why I'm up here, just to say my side of it. I don't know much about the inner workings of the shelter and any of that, but I just wanted to share my experience, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, that's all that I have. Anybody else? Nope. Item B, items from the City Council trustees.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to our street and maintenance people. I have had friends from all over the metro tell me, I can't wait to get to the city limits because I know that those streets are going to be taken care of. So thank you for that.
Yes, Dennis, you and your crew are the most popular people in town.
Thank you, Dennis. I just wanted to mention real quick, I went to the Moore Police Department the other day. They had a couple of sergeant promotions, and they do such a great job of doing those with family there. But also, one of the 911 operators received a life-saving certificate for helping save someone over the phone, having them do CPR and the breathing and everything. And
when they were up here earlier talking about getting things for 911, those people basically lived there for 12 hours, 8 hours and stuff, and do just an amazing job. And I just wanted to thank them, publicly. And if you ever call in for something, tell them you appreciate them, because they do a fantastic job. And like I said, she did this over the phone and saved someone's life. So thank you.
Yes.
Very cool.
I think also tomorrow, the fire department is going to have a ceremony to recognize those that promotions, I think, to drivers. Isn't that what it was? I believe so.
Yes.
Is that good? So, just wanted to make sure that we remember both sides.
Adam, Louis?
Nope.
Oh, come on, something. Okay. And item C, city trust manager.
Nothing at this time.
Then item 18 will be adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Would you call the roll?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Sid Porter,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Louis Williams.
Yes.
Adam Webb,
You want to do a picture?
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Did you catch her before she?
Thanks, everybody, for being
Thank
here.
you for being here.